editions. They were really cheap. They were like $10 each at Walmart the one time. And I decided to pick them up because they were the only two that I didn't have. Now I will clarify before I show you the rest of my Game of Thrones series. It doesn't match at all, and it bothers me. But later, I might have a guest on. Well, I will have a guest, I promise. Near the end of this video, I'll hand it off to sheep number 2, who will go through his Blu-ray movie or TV show collection of things that he has that are either better than mine or some things that I don't have. And his Game of Thrones series happens to be one that I am very jealous of. So make sure you stay tuned to see his. But mine does not match. Some of it's really cool, but it does not match. And so, yeah, this is season 1 and 2. Game of Thrones, obviously, one of the highest rated TV shows of all time. It has amazing stuff in it. Truly amazing writing, acting, and especially the later seasons. The filmmaking itself is just incredible. Except for one season, and I think you know what I'm talking about. Although the filmmaking in the final season of Game of Thrones is incredible. The season itself, I'll get to it. I'll get to that. But yeah, this is season 1 and 2. Season 1 is amazing, and season 2 is also amazing. Season 1, I don't think there will ever be a show that introduces characters quite as seamless as season 1 does. So, yeah, that's season 1 and 2. Next, I have another 2 that match each other but don't match the set as a whole. This is season 3 and 4. Now, these are actually steelbooks. So I'm going to go ahead and get these out of the cases so you can see, because they're in the case that they come in. Like the store case that they came in. Alright, so here we have season 3. Very nice design of the steelbooks. I like that each one features a different location from the theme and from the show in general. This one's location is the Twins. And on here we have the logo. This actually came with the seal. They're actually magnets. I just leave them on the steelbook because they look good, but even if you don't have the magnets, it is indented onto the steelbook itself. The featured location of this, of season 3 steelbook is the Twins. You can see on the back the actual castle itself with the drawbridge and the river that they have to cross. That leads to one of television's most shocking episodes of all time. And I gotta say, if you haven't seen the show, there's a lot of reasons that people give for not watching the show, and I get a lot of them, but if you want to watch just an amazing show, just watch it. Just watch it. Just watch it. It's really, really good and incredible. And season 3, wow, an amazing season. But probably not as good as the next season, which is season 4. This, I also have the steelbook of. It's the very similar style. This logo that it has is the crest of the wall. It has the crow on it, on the sword. And it says, "I am the sword in the darkness. I am the watcher on the wall." This is also a magnet, same thing. And then on the back, it's just like the wall itself. So yeah, that's season 4. This season, obviously, is incredible. But this season in particular is when they really stepped up the filmmaking itself to new levels with the Battle of the Wall. I don't think a TV show had ever had a battle that was even close to the scale and the choreography and the filming, the long shots that they have. And it only got better from here. Until it didn't. Okay. Alright, next we have season 5. This is, again, a totally different version. It has a clear slip. has a clear slip over the top. And then it has Tyrion seeing the dragon for the first time. Yeah, but this set is like a more traditional TV set case. It's like a digibook style. You can hear it is textured, which I really like. I actually like this version a lot. And this, if I bought every season in a style, this would probably be the one, because I like this style the best. But inside, it's like the classic fold-out TV show, and it has a whole bunch of character art on it. Really nice. But yeah, season 5 was, I don't think it was as good as the seasons before it, but it had a lot of cool stuff. I just thought that some of the stuff in it wasn't as interesting as some of the others, as all the other seasons except for season 8. But yeah, this is probably one of my least favorite seasons. It's either my third least favorite or second least favorite. I don't remember. I haven't watched it in a couple of years. And one reason that my editions are all different is because I bought them as the show was coming out, and as I was watching it for the first time. So when I was out, I would see one and be like, oh, I should buy it, and then I'd wait for it to go on sale and then buy that season and watch it. So that's why all my editions are different. I definitely would have done it different now, but I was just happy that I could watch them in really good quality without paying for a subscription, and I'd have them forever. So yeah, this is season 5. And next up we have the big daddy of TV show seasons, season 6 of Game of Thrones. Now this is probably one of my least favorite editions just because its slip case is not even like a real slip case, it's this partial thing, and it's got a lot of edges and a lot of places that it can rip really easily. But this might also be the same version as season 5. It's just different, so I don't know if it's exactly the same, but it's pretty close. But it's got the holographic heads on it. This season, I can't say. If this isn't your favorite season, I get it. There's a lot of other good seasons, but it's hard to argue that this doesn't just deliver on almost everything you want from every plot line in one season. And in particular, the last 2 episodes, I think the second to last episode is unbelievable. It blew I was literally sitting there watching it for the first time, and my mouth just kept getting lower and lower and closer to the floor. Every time I thought that it couldn't get better, it did. And then the next episode, the final episode of season 6 was incredible as well. And I can't say enough about this season. It elevated to the show to just legendary proportions. But yeah, but this was not the final season of the show. It was not the final season of the show. There's 2 more. There's 2 more. One of them is 7. And that's the next one. This is season 7. And it actually is the same version as season 5. It's got the clear slip, which I think is the best. And then it has the Night King on it, who I'm sure lived up to everyone's expectations of him in season 8. I'm sure it felt like there should have been 7 seasons of build-up for this guy. Surely season 8 delivered on a guy that had been built up for 7 seasons. Okay, I'll stop going on about it. Can you tell I'm a bit bitter about how this show ended? Okay, that's season 7. I think season 7 was a pretty good season. In retrospect, there was a lot of issues wrong with things that they were setting up for the final season. But as the season itself, going into season 8 before it came out, I thought, well, how are they going to end it in a single season? Because it felt like there was still a lot of stuff to wrap up, and it wasn't going to be able to be wrapped up in one season. And then I found out that it was going to be 6 episodes. And I went, oh no. I don't think that's enough episodes to end it. And then it came out. And that leads me to the notorious Season 8 of Game of Thrones. Now, if you've seen it, you know. If you haven't, you should be warned. If you watch Game of Thrones, stop on the last episode of Season 7. Don't go any farther. All your expectations will be, everything that you thought the show was going to be will be thrown back in your face, and you will be made fun of while watching this season. Now, if you like this season, I'm very happy for you. I wish I could. There's so much wrong with this, I can't even begin to unpack it. And if you say, well, unpack some of it, I would, but I'm going to end up ranting about it for a good long while. So let's just move on to the next show, which doesn't have the problem of running too long and being destroyed by people who would rather make a Star Wars TV show for Disney and then never get to make the Star Wars show for Disney because they did such a bad job with the greatest show that anybody ever made. So here we go. But now we come to the actual best show ever made. Breaking Bad. Now, if I'm being honest, I think Better Call Saul is the best show ever made from a technical standpoint. But this show, heavens to Betsy, what can I say about this show that hasn't been said already? I don't think I could. The show is amazing. It's incredible. The writing in it is second to none. The characters are second to none. Maybe only Better Call Saul, but I think Better Call Saul is leagues better if you've seen Breaking Bad, so there's sort of a package deal. As far as filmmaking goes, Better Call Saul blows this out of the water. The visual storytelling in Better Call Saul is crazy, but Breaking Bad, the actual story and development, I think is incredible. I think it's not as clear as Better Call Saul, although it has all the same subtleties. They're just a lot harder to catch. But yeah, Breaking Bad is incredible. It deserves the legendary status that it has earned. And if you haven't seen it, just treat yourself and watch it, and then watch Better Call Saul, because before it gets spoiled for you, because wow, I'm glad I didn't see it before it got spoiled. So yeah, do yourself a favor, watch it. Right. Next, I have another show that started off and everybody loved it, and it sort of just kept going. The Walking Dead, and this is season 1. Now, my edition is a bit worn. I bought it on eBay. I got 5 seasons for $20, and one of them is a steelbook, and so I wasn't going to complain. The reason I only have 5 seasons is because 5 seasons, I think, is the amount that this show probably should have run. And it sort of ran its course in those 5 seasons, and season 6 was a mixed bag for me, and then season 7 I thought wasn't good. My dad, however, has watched every season to date, except for, I think, the last one. But yeah, now they've split it off into a whole bunch of different shows, and I guess it's just never gonna end, so it's like an anime, I guess. So yeah, Walking Dead is the American anime. I don't know. That's season 1. Season 1's incredible. Now, when I first watched the show, somebody told me not to just skip season 1 because season 2 was where it got good. I don't know why they told me that. They lied to me. Season 1's amazing, but yeah. Season 2. This is the same edition as season 1. It's just a slip cover with the regular Blu-ray. But again, $20 for 5 seasons of a show that, for me, at the time, especially when it was coming out, was legendary, and still is. These first 5 seasons are so awesome. I love this show. Yeah, most of you have probably seen it. I would imagine that everybody who's gonna watch it has probably watched it by this point. Then we have season 3. I think that season 3 is a very good season. I think my favorite seasons are probably 2 and 4. But season 3 is awesome. Elevates everything. But I think season 4 is my favorite. Man, I keep thinking of things to say, and then I'm like, well, I guess that's a spoiler. So I won't say too much about it, but this is a thicker version. I think it's the same version, it's just thicker because there's more episodes in this season, I think. I could be wrong. I don't know. Alright. Let me know what you think of all these shows in the comments below. There's a lot of people in my Blu-ray one that had opinions and stuff. And some, also, I want to say that I have a Letterboxd, my details will be in the description, but if you want to follow me, I'd love to see your guys' movies. I know it doesn't have TV shows, or it doesn't have a lot of TV shows, but yeah, if you follow me, I'll follow you back. I think it'd be really cool to see what movies you guys have watched this year, and what movies in general. I just got it, so it says that I watched like a bunch of movies this year. I haven't, but yeah, go check it out if you want to. I'd love to follow you guys and see and sort of maybe talk about movies. I don't know. It's just be fun. I love movies and I love television, and yeah, I love that people have different opinions. So if you were like, yeah, Game of Thrones season 8 was the best one, I mean, cool. I'd love to talk about it and get your opinions, and maybe it'll give me a new perspective. I don't know, but yeah. Okay. Next we have season 4. This, I think this season really did a lot of the things that the other seasons did wrong. They did it right. And the final, I guess it's not the final episode, I forget which one it is, but I remember it not being the last, it's like the fourth to last one. The big showdown at the prison, that episode is awesome, and the build up to it is just as incredible. But yeah, this season was very good. And then we have the Steelbook season. And I also bought this for the first time because Max and Carson hadn't seen it a couple of years ago, and I was like, oh, we should watch The Walking Dead, and I didn't have it, and I was like, yeah, we'll probably just watch like to season 5 because I didn't like season 7, so I was just like, we might as well just watch the season 5. And so I went on eBay, and somebody happened to be selling the first 5 seasons for like $22, and one of them was a steelbook, and I bought it immediately. So yeah, got a great deal on it, and I actually don't. I'm trying to open it quietly, maybe behind the back. Making sure there's no digital code or anything. Oh, it came with behind the scenes too. Cool. But yeah, great set. I got it for a great deal. Great season. Yeah, this season was really good. I liked all the stuff with Beth. And I think that was the most shocked my dad was at any episode, was the episode with Beth on the season. Trying not to say any spoilers, but yeah, the episode with Beth on this season is awesome. The hospital one. So, yeah. My dad's face was literally just like, he looked over at us and you're like, yeah. Okay, try not to spoil it. Okay, next up. You already know what it is. You already know. It's The Office. Complete series on Blu-ray. Now, I had it on DVD for a long time, and then for Christmas one year, my mom and dad got me it on Blu-ray, and it's awesome. I love that I have this because some streaming services are sort of messing with some of the stuff in them, and it bothers me. So to have it in its entirety, the way that they originally created it, I think is perfect, and I love that I have it forever. And this show was incredible. That season 8, I don't remember what season 8, I think, has a couple missteps here and there, but it eventually finds its stride and gets back into it, surviving without Michael Scott. But season 1 through 7 are amazing. It has a lot of elements that are cool. You just get to watch people live out their lives, basically. And you feel connected to them, and it's a really awesome show. Really hilarious. Some of the best comedy ever put to screen. And also the British version is very good too. I really wish that when Michael Scott left, they brought down David Brent, Ricky Gervais's character from the British one, and had him be the new manager. I think that could have been some of the funniest television of all time. But yeah, the ending of it is good. It almost wasn't. Some of the stuff that they had talked about doing that John Krasinski put an end to, wow, really dumb stuff. But yeah, a feat of comedy writing, amazing, incredible. I don't know anybody who doesn't like The Office. Maybe you're one of those people. I'm sorry. Alright. Next, we're getting into my British television collection. This is Doctor Who. This is the entire David Tennant years, so season 2 through 4, and all the specials included with that. I don't have the Christopher Eccleston season 1. It's really expensive on Blu-ray, and I just haven't been able to get it at a good deal. This, however, is one of the best. I mean, I think it's still like $20 on Amazon. So that's a steal for 3 seasons of television for $20 and a nice set. It comes in a really good set. Now, if you're a Doctor Who fan, there's a bit of drama over who is your favorite Doctor. Now, mine, I hate to be a normie, mine is definitely David Tennant. I think he has the best episodes, by far. The best, well, he does have really good companions. Man, it's tough. We just watched these last year. My 3 youngest siblings, we all watched it, and with my mom. Crazy enough, my mom loves these. I don't know. I did not see that coming, but she loves Doctor Who, and so do my 3 younger siblings. But I think this is peak Doctor Who. I think that what David Tennant did as the Doctor and all his companions were incredible. And I'm trying to remember the showrunner, Russell T Davies. What he did with the show was incredible, and especially like Christopher Eccleston's season 1. I don't think that there was really any other way to reboot Doctor Who and have it as successful as it was, other than what they did. But yeah, this is peak Doctor Who. Sorry I don't have Christopher Eccleston's. I'm gonna get him eventually, I promise. I just don't have him yet. Sonic Screwdriver. Alright, next we have season 5 of Doctor Who. This is Matt Smith's first season, his debut season. And Karen Gillan's and I forget Rory's actor's name. Probably says it in the back. Nope, I don't know. Rory and Amy's debut as well. And the season, yeah, I think is pretty good. There's a couple episodes that aren't as good as the majority of them on this season. And there's also some really bad ones on this season as well. So it starts out as a mixed bag, but the 11th hour I think is a really good episode. Obviously the last 2, the Pandora opens and the Big Bang, both of those are incredible. Yeah, but there's a couple that aren't very good. Let me see. Oh, Victory of the Daleks. Oh, that episode sucks. But the Time of the Angels and Flesh and Stone, both really good. But there's some episodes that are just really not good on this season. But overall, really solid season, but not as good as. Drumroll, please. Season 6. Season 6, I think, is probably the most complex season of Doctor Who, out of all of them. Maybe the most confusing, but I think it's one of the best. It's definitely Matt Smith's best season. The first time I watched it, I didn't like River Song. She really annoyed me. And then the second time I watched it, for some reason, I really liked River Song. And so if you don't like River Song, I get why you wouldn't like this season. But I think this season has some of the best Doctor Who episodes on it. I think my favorite one is probably The Doctor's Wife. That one is just such a cool episode. I don't know. I loved it the first time I watched it. And then, what's the other one that's really good on here? There's a lot of good ones on this season, but like with the silence coming in, the idea behind those are just so cool. And those episodes where they focus on the silence are really good. I don't remember if there's any that are really that bad on this one. Some people really don't like Night Terrors. I didn't think it was that bad, but some people That's like one of the lowest rated episodes of Doctor Who for some reason. It's just really generic. I didn't think it was that bad, but yeah, this season's really good. Next we got Season 7. This is a special edition. It is like the British version. I got it off of eBay. But it has the Weeping Angel on it, and it's like a reflective silver surface. This season is really good as well. It doesn't start off the strongest, but it has some really awesome episodes on it. And if you're a Doctor Who fan, you're used to it by now. If you've watched the old ones, you know that it is extremely hit or miss. It'll either be the best show you've ever seen, or it'll be like utter garbage. And there's a few in between, so yeah, if you're a Doctor Who fan, you know. But we love it for what it is. This is actually a limited edition. It actually has the number on the back of it, of limited. This is what limited edition number it is, and everything. So yeah, really happy to get this. I got this off of eBay. But yeah, I don't know if it's worth anything. It's just a cool edition. But that's part 1 of season 7. And then part 2 is, I just have the like standard edition series 7 part 2. It's not a special edition or anything. But this season, I think, is really, this part of the season, part 2, has really good episodes on it. The Snowman, I think, is one of the better Christmas specials. What episodes does this have? Oh, and it starts with the name of the Doctor. Oh, the movie. The movie's amazing. The Day of the Doctor movie, I saw it in theaters and 3D, and it was awesome. The part where they're looking in the picture frame, and it's like the Battle of Gallifrey, and in 3D it was awesome. But yeah, season 7 leads into the Day of the Doctor and the Time of the Doctor, which is the Christmas special at the end of the season, and both of those were really good, and a good ending to Matt Smith as the Doctor. But yeah, I do have some of the Peter Capaldi episodes that I bought when they first were coming out. I'm not a fan of Peter Capaldi. He has some really good episodes, but overall I felt like his season 8 was so, they didn't know what he was as a Doctor. Like, he kept flip-flopping. He was either really nice or the most annoying human being ever, and maybe they did that on purpose, but I stopped watching like halfway through season 9. But yeah, there's some really good episodes with him, but overall I felt like, it's nothing against Peter Capaldi. I think he could be a great Doctor. It was just the writing. I felt like the episodes slowly got less and less interesting, and the majority of them started taking place on Earth instead of cool space places, even though with Matt Smith it started doing that a lot more. Like, if you look at David Tennant's Reign, most of them take place on other planets or in space, and then Matt Smith comes in and most of them take place on Earth, which I get it, but yeah, I don't know. Let me know who your favorite Doctor is in the comments below. And your favorite companion. My favorite companion is probably, it's hard to pick, but I think it's probably Donna Noble. I mean, it's hard to beat her. Her episodes are crazy good. She's hilarious. David Tennant and her chemistry are unmatched. And then probably like Rose, Clara, Amy, they're all pretty even. I like Martha. Martha was a lot better than I thought she was the first time. Her episodes, she has some of the best episodes. I remember Martha being more annoying, like her voice being a lot more pitchy, and it is a little pitchy, but her episodes are really good. And yeah, I mean, they're all really close, except for, I think, Donald Noble. And yeah, so yeah, that's my opinion. Leave yours in the comments below so I can see. I don't know a ton of people who watch Doctor Who. I know that there's a lot of them, I just don't know them. But yeah, let me know. If there was an award for best TV show based off of one season ever, it would hands down be Stranger Things for me. Stranger Things season 1 was mind-blowing. There is not, everything about this is absolutely perfect. I can't even tell you. I hate to be a normie because everybody loves Stranger Things, but every second. There's not a boring part in season 1. Every part is gripping. Every character gets their own screen time. The filmmaking is amazing. The music is incredible. The storytelling is incredible. Of course, that's just with season 1. I think season 2 was a strong follow-up. Had some missteps in it. I think season 3 was terrible, in my opinion. I felt like the first 5 episodes of season 3 were really interesting and good, and then the last ones were so garbage. Like the last 2 episodes were so terrible. And I know that's an unpopular opinion, and if you like them, I'm happy for you, and that's awesome, and I'd love to talk about it. But season 4, I thought, was a step in the right direction of getting back on track. Season 3 also had a few changes, like, of how it was made, like the text at the beginning of the episode. I know it's a small thing, but the text at the beginning of the episodes was different, and they quickly switched back in season 4. And I think there was definitely things that they caught on to, like, I don't know. I almost spoiled something, but I'm not going to spoil anything. But yeah, season 4 was a step in the right direction, I think. I don't know how they're going to end it. I'm on the fence if it'll end good, but yeah, that's season 1. And this version is amazing. It is designed to look like a VHS case. I don't know how well you can see it, but you open it up and it looks like a VHS. This is brilliant. I know Netflix is a streaming service, and they stopped making things on Blu-ray because they were losing money, but this is peak Blu-ray collection material. This is amazing. It was a Target exclusive, I think. And it was really not that expensive. It was like $25, but it comes with the DVD versions right there, and then in the upside down, you got the Blu-ray. It's really awesome. They got the upside down, like, printed on there. I don't know. It comes with like a whole bunch of pictures and stuff, but this is one of my favorite things in all of my Blu-ray collection. It's amazing. And what's cool about this is season 1. As somebody who grew up with VHS, this is pretty cool. But that's season 1. Season 2 did the same thing, but they did the later version of VHSs where it's the actual, like, it's the kind of the cases that you get from Blockbuster. But it has like Hawkins video on there, and it opens like one of the old cases and looks like it's got a red VHS in it. If you've never seen this is probably really cool. But when I saw how they did this, I went crazy over it. I think it's amazing. But same thing. I think this one's actually 4K. I don't think it came with. Oh, I think it's 4K on Blu-ray. Yeah, it's 4K on Blu-ray, so season 2 is 4K and Blu-ray, but it looks like red. I don't know. Everything about this is so cool. And it is actually a slip. Like, it is actually made exactly like the VHSs of old. It actually makes good sounds, too. But I don't believe they ever released season 3 or 4 in these editions. And I think they only released season 3 on DVD, so I don't have season 3 or 4. I probably would buy season 4. I'd probably buy season 3 to complete the collection, although I'm really not. Season 3 really let me down, especially with the end of it. I think the Hopper and Joyce plot was terrible writing. And I hate to call things out like that, like terrible, but I'm just being frank with you. I think there's so many other things that they could have done, but instead they just were like, well, Joyce was crazy in the last 2 seasons and nobody believed her for no reason. I guess we have to come up with something just like that. And so I feel like it kind of fell into a parody. It sort of became a parody of itself in a lot of ways, and so it didn't feel like they wanted to do a lot new, but the stuff with Billy was chef's kiss. Very good. And season 3. And season 2, everything was good except for episode 7, I think. But yeah, that is Stranger Things. Let me know what you think of each season in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinions. I've been been trying to respond to everyone. I think I have. Alright, next up we're getting into my anime collection. Some of it's questionable if it's considered anime or not, but this is Netflix's Castlevania. I cannot tell you how much I love this show. I think this probably is my favorite show of all time, based off of as a whole, because it ends magnificently. And I can't tell you how nervous I was once I saw the season 4 trailer. I was like, it looks good. I don't know, shows just don't end good anymore. I don't know if anyone's noticed. But like Better Call Saul and Castlevania are like the only two recent shows that I've watched that I'm like, yeah, they ended perfectly. So yeah, here's season 1. It's like you can kind of see there, it's like the classic poster. Season 2. Season 1 is amazing. What they achieved in 4 episodes. It feels like a proper season when you think about it, but it's actually only 4 episodes, and it's incredible. Then season 2, I think, made everything about season 1 better. New characters, new plots, everything got bigger and better. Season 3, I felt like season 3 was really good. Watching it for the first time, I was like, okay, they're basing this off of a Dungeons & Dragons campaign, because so much of it was literally just straight out of Dungeons & Dragons. Everything that Trevor and Sypha did, everything about it was structured like a Dungeons & Dragons campaign, so I loved it. I thought season 3 was incredible. There was a couple things that were kind of weird, like with Saint Germain's voice. It kind of sounded a little weird in some parts, but I think it's because it was made during the pandemic, I believe, or maybe that's season 4. I don't know, it was either season 3 or 4 that had some weird, like, audio, but I think it's because they were recording from home. The voice actors were recording from home, and so some of it sounded lower quality. Then we got season 4. Season 4 was incredible. Getting near the end, I was like, what are they going to do for this crazy final? Because I was like, who's Trevor going to fight, right? I'm not going to spoil it, but they did not disappoint. With an epic final battle that was worthy of this series as a whole. All the characters' endings, everything about it, I thought was fantastic. It didn't try and draw it out too long. It ended it quick and effectively. And, yeah, I was really excited for Castlevania Nocturne. I was let down by it personally. I felt like it was trying so hard to be like every other anime that it just came across like boring and repetitive and uninteresting. It's like Trevor Belmont's character was developed very well, where Richter Belmont was just like, he's a Belmont like him, without bringing anything new to the table. I felt like all the characters talked strange and really unrealistic. I don't know. The fighting I felt like wasn't as good either, and some of the decisions that they made, it just felt so strange, and maybe it made sense to some people. I thought it was really weird, but I'm glad it didn't affect this at all. This show is still magnificent, and if they ever do a spin-off about Isaac, they better make it good. That's all I gotta say. Also, before this next one, I want to clarify, I don't know if these would be considered animes by hardcore anime fans, just because they were developed by American studios. But, yeah, Castlevania being Netflix, that might be considered Western animation, I don't know. But, Avatar: The Last Airbender, this is a nice Blu-ray edition, with a nice slip. I actually really like this art. And then it's just a standard Blu-ray edition inside. Now, I haven't ever met anyone who goes, oh yeah, I don't like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't know why you wouldn't like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Everything about it is just made for everybody. There's not really a reason to dislike it. The characters are lovable, the story is engaging, and the fighting is awesome. For a kid's show, this I'm hesitant to call it a kid's show. It has better writing than most shows made by HBO. It has better voice acting than almost any other television ever. They don't go the major anime route and make Aang be played by a little girl, or by engaging. Feels more real when you actually have a child playing the characters, and yeah, I love it. I think Azula is my favorite character. I think that she's like one of the most complex characters in it. And the ending of her story, like the last time you see Azula, it just gives me chills. It's crazy. I also read the comic books. I like them. I don't know how to feel about the live action thing. I think it's gonna be garbage, personally, just because I feel like it doesn't need to exist at all. And now that the original showrunners of this have gotten off board with it, or so I'm told. I could be wrong, they could still be on board, but what I heard was that they walked away during development for the live action, which makes me really question the integrity of it, but maybe it'll be good. I don't know. I don't think it'll be better than the cartoon at the very least, but maybe it will be. Maybe it'll blow me out of the water, but I doubt it. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's gonna be good? Do you even like Avatar? I love it. Who's your favorite character? What element would you be? I don't know. I think I'd probably be Earth. I don't know. Alright, next we have Legend of Korra. Now, Legend of Korra, I think, does everything that Avatar The Last Airbender did well, except it doesn't, not as good. I liked Season 1 really good. I liked Season 2 pretty good. I liked Season 3, I think, even better than Season 2, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm remembering it right, but then Season 4 was not very good. There was good things about it, but I felt like Korra losing her powers every 2 seconds got old very quick and made her just feel like she was more of a crybaby than an Avatar. Because Aang, every time he went up against something, like, he wanted to get better at it. Like, fire was the only thing that he ever, like, really beat himself up about, like learning fire. But I think there was some really cool stuff in this, particularly like it taking place in the future and it taking place in the city. Like the first season, that's what it did really well, was coming up with an engaging plot for the city. I just felt like it was a little more boring and slow than Avatar The Last Airbender, and I thought that the ending was kind of dumb, but that's just me. If you like it, I know people that like this better than Avatar The Last Airbender. I think they're crazy, but it is what it is. And I own it. I like it. I'm not saying I dislike it. I like it. It's just not as good as Avatar The Last Airbender. Not even close. Alright. We have One Punch Man, Season 1 and 2. This show is hilarious and manages to also be epic. There's a lot of shows that pretend like the main character is the ultimate, like My Hero Academia, and then he's like 1 billion trillion% and then punches a dude and then he lives, and you're like, well, he's not very powerful for a main character. And I'm not saying anything bad about My Hero Academia. I really haven't watched that much of it, but this show is like, what if he actually was the greatest of all time? Like, what do we do with that to make it interesting and engaging? And they go the comedy route, but there also is some really epic stuff in these. I'm really interested to see what they'll do with Season 3. It takes forever for these seasons to come out. I saw that there were some people disappointed with Season 2's animation. I felt like it was pretty close, which is weird because when Attack on Titan Season 4 came out, nobody complained, and I couldn't believe how disappointing the animation was, but that's just me. Again, maybe you liked it, but I'll get to Attack on Titan in a minute. But yeah, One Punch Man is hilarious and has epic fighting in it, really cool ideas, really well written anime, while still being very anime. Next up, we have Attack on Titan. This is Season 1, just in 2 parts. This is Part 1 and Part 2. Attack on Titan, I watched, okay, this is embarrassing, okay, but I was young, and I could do whatever I wanted. I watched the entirety of Attack on Titan Season 1 and 2 in one night. And I didn't skip the intro song one time. I watched it all in one night. I was so gripped by this show. It's incredible. Season 1 and 2 are like flawless. And the end of Season 1 like blew my mind. I was like, I need to go to bed. But I gotta watch the next season, and it's only 11 episodes, so I watched it. And again, I didn't skip the theme once for any of the intro song. is so amazing. I can't say enough about season 1 and 2 of this show. Season 3 was also very good. I felt like there were some slow parts to it. There was also a lot of epic stuff in it. And then season 4. Now I want to clarify, I have not watched all of season 4. I made it through the first part of season 4 and felt like it was not good. Now, hear me out. Maybe if you're the manga reader, you're like, well, it made perfect sense. It didn't make sense if you've only watched the anime, because this show felt like from the very beginning, at the end, figured out, right? Like Breaking Bad. Like, it knew what it was gonna do. It knew the world. It knew the story and everything. But then season 4 started and something was a little off. Aaron's decision making was really out of character, I felt. Some people don't feel that way. Maybe you're one of those people and you like it. I know I'm in the minority here. Don't hate me. I'm just stating my opinion. If you love it, that's great. I really wish I could. I just felt like the dialogue was weird. The voice acting was not on par with the other seasons. The animation was not even close to the other seasons. And things like all of a sudden him being like, Mikasa being like, oh yeah, Aaron, you know that thing that I always have on my wrist, the tattoo that I've only shown you, and I always have that thing on my wrist to cover it up. She doesn't have that in the other seasons. That's the kind of stuff where I'm like, okay, this is just total, just plot armor. Like, they're just like, oh yeah, she's had this tattoo the whole time. But there's clearly parts where she doesn't have that thing on her wrist. I don't know, maybe it's in the manga. I don't know, but there's a lot of things that didn't make any sense, I felt like. And I felt like Aaron becoming the tyrant himself was really disappointing for me, but I don't know. Maybe you like it, and if you do, I hope you do. I hope you like it, and you enjoy it, and yeah. I just didn't. I only have season 1 of this, by the way. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I only have season 1. I got it really cheap on eBay. I'll tell you what, I love eBay. My mom has had a terrible experience with eBay. I have had nothing but good experience with eBay, other than it getting hacked once, but it didn't really matter that much. I just didn't get my SpongeBob season 1. I later did, by the way, but yeah, this is season 1. I think that they're amazing. I think that you should watch it, and if you want to watch season 4, you can. Maybe you'll like it. I don't know. A lot of people like it. I just felt like it was a little weird. Like, there's a part where they're riding in the back of the wagon, and they're all sitting there, and then like they're like, oh, maybe this person will end up becoming the Titan, and there's like silence, and then one person goes, wait, why are you blushing? And then the other person's like, oh, I'm not blushing, you're blushing. And then they're like, oh, I guess it just looks like we're blushing because the sun is setting. And I was sitting there and I was like, what just happened? That was completely worthless. I don't know, maybe it meant something. Maybe it meant something that I didn't get, but I was sitting there, and then, I don't know, there's just a lot of things. I won't take up too much of your time. You're here to see my collection, and this is Attack on Titan. Next, we have the OG anime, Death Note. Now, this was the first anime that I ever saw, and if you're looking to see what anime is capable of doing, watch Death Note. If you want an introduction to anime, watch Death Note, and then watch maybe Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood or Full Metal Alchemist, whichever one you want. I think, actually, side note, I actually think I liked a lot of Full Metal Alchemist better than Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and I know that's a hot take. I know that most people like Brotherhood better, and there's a lot of things that are better about Brotherhood, but there's Full Metal Alchemist almost felt more like childlike and like fun and adventurous, more like after The Last Airbender, where Brotherhood was almost depressing most of the time, which I liked. Don't get me wrong, I liked, but yeah, I felt like they were pretty close. Like, most people say, oh, Brotherhood's the best version. I get this based off the manga, but I felt like they were a lot closer than most people gave them credit for. But yeah, Death Note, however, is as good as everybody gives it credit for. I think it's one of the best written shows of all time. The things that happen, I mean, the ending of the show, it gave me chills. Like, seeing the finale of everything and how it played out was perfect. The only thing wrong with this entire show, and I watched the dubbed version, and so sue me. I think the voice acting is great in it, but Nier's voice actor is terrible, and I think it's the same in the Japanese version, because I think I've watched both, and the Japanese is also just a woman pretending to be a little kid. It would have been so much cooler if they actually had a kid playing him, but yeah, that is pretty much the only thing wrong with this entire show. But yeah, I love it. I love it. It's amazing. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Come on, what are you doing? You haven't seen Death Note. Be real. Alright. But yeah, Death Note. This is just like a standard edition with a slipcover. You can actually get it really cheap. Like, I think I got this for like $14 at Walmart, and I was like, holy cow. It's got like 35 episodes. So, 37 episodes. That's really cheap for 37 episodes. Anyway, Death Note. I love it. Next we have, I'm trying to get it up here, the entirety of Psych. Now, look at this set and tell me what's wrong with it. I don't know if you can see with me how I'm holding it, but this is perfectly straight. Do you see what's wrong? It's season 2. Season 2's Psych is not lined up at all. I don't know what happened with this set. Somebody needs to be fired. Somebody needs to be tarred and feathered. I don't know what somebody needs to be, but they need to be it. Otherwise, this set is awesome. Psych was a really surprising show for me. I had always heard people talk about Psych and how good it was. And then I started watching it, and me and Max actually started watching it when we were sick. And it was so painful to laugh, but we were dying laughing at the first couple episodes. I think the first couple are still some of my favorite episodes. The spelling bee one, that episode's hilarious. But yeah, season 1 I think is a really good season. Season 2 I think was even better. Season 3 I think was, either season 3 or 4 was my favorite. I don't know, it's been a while since I've watched them as a whole. And then season 5 kind of lost me a little bit. In my opinion, they drew the love story between Sean and Juliet out way too long. Like, when they did stuff with it, it was good, but it just took way too long to get anything done. Frankly, I couldn't believe that it took as long as it did, and that nobody had complained about it. I think in season 5, and even some of season 4, they really got into the habit of just doing the same exact thing in every single episode. And don't get me wrong, the comedy was still hilarious. There was funny parts, but I felt like they started making Sean be wrong twice in each episode. The first guy that he accused was dead, and then the second one was just a wild guess, and then the third one was actually the right one. And in some of them, he literally figured it out slower than the detectives did. And it started to make you feel like Sean wasn't even trying anymore. But then he'd do something, it was like the most brilliant thing in one episode, and then the next one he's wrong twice. And I don't know, it ended up being very formulaic, I think, in season 5. And then there'd randomly be amazing episodes, and you'd be like, who is writing these episodes and who's writing the other ones? And season 6 and 7, right? There's 7 seasons. Oh, there's 8 seasons. So, let me think. I don't know, it's been a while since I've seen it. At some point, it got into a really big formula of just doing the same thing over and over again in every episode. But, yeah. Overall, really good show. Season 1 through 4, I think, is amazing. The drama and the comedy, like the way that they did it in seasons 1 through 4, was really meaningful, and I felt like they had somewhere where they're going with it, and they just drew it out too long, but that's my opinion. I wasn't a huge fan of the movie. trying to remember if we watched 2 movies or we just watched 1. I don't know. I thought the movie was alright. It wasn't as good as it could have been, I felt. Again, I felt like this show, let me say, this show with these actors had so much potential. And they lived up to it for the first 4 seasons. I think also in season 5, Juliet started talking weird. I don't know if anybody, I could barely find anything about this online, but Juliet, like, through season 1 through 4, she, like, talks normal. But then in season 5, she, like, starts doing this, like, really weird accent thing. I don't know if it drove anyone else nuts, but it drove me nuts. I started getting so annoyed with Juliet. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I couldn't find anything. Somebody said that she was taking, like, speech therapy lessons or something, and that's why she did it. I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't know. I loved Juliet, and I liked her character, even though she talked weird, and she had great moments, but it felt like the actor was trying, because there were some episodes where she wouldn't do it, and then there was episodes where she'd do it. I don't know what happened. But, yeah. But Lassiter, I don't know. Great show. Overall, it's an amazing show. I think you should definitely watch it. Very surprising. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was, as good as everybody said, and I think it was overall. So yeah, go watch it if you haven't. If you have, let me know what you thought of it. All right, next up, I have the complete series of The Mentalist. Now, I forgot to mention that Psych and this are not on Blu-ray; they're only on DVD. I'm not sure if you can get both of them on Blu-ray. I think you might be able to get season 1 of The Mentalist on Blu-ray, but not the whole series. So I just have them on DVD. They might eventually make them on Blu-ray, and I'll probably get them. But yeah, this is The Mentalist. Now, most people know The Mentalist, and if you've seen Psych, you've heard of The Mentalist because they talk about it all the time. Both these shows are very similar. One is heavy drama, although it is very funny, whereas Psych is mainly just a comedy with some drama elements. They're like stark opposites. But yeah, The Mentalist was like my favorite show for a long time. When I was growing up, I was watching, I think, right before season 7 came out. And me and my sister watched season 7. I actually like season 7, although I do feel like if they had ended it at which season? Season 2, I think. I don't know. Whichever one ends with strawberries and cream, the 2-parter. I think that would have been a better ending to the show than the actual one, although I'm saying that while being spoiled on the ending, so it's hard to tell. I think that episode is the best one. It's hard not to spoil anything with this, but yeah, really good show. I think season 2 is probably my favorite. Although there are really good episodes after. Yeah, I think season 2 is probably my favorite overall. There are really good episodes after season 2, but I think the ending of season 2 should have been the actual ending of the show, personally. But, I mean, it's hard to complain. There's a lot of good things about the show. It's a show that stays really consistent, with only a few missteps here and there. But, yeah, really, really solid show. And Simon Baker as the lead, I think he is one of the most likable protagonists in anything. Simon Baker just really knocks it out of the park with his performance in this, and I think all these side characters are really good as well. Like Lisbon, like all the crew, like Lisbon and Rigsby and Joe and Van Belton. But yeah, and Red John, obviously, amazing bad guy. So yeah, really good show. I'm really happy with this collection. This is another one that I got off of eBay. No, this video is not sponsored by eBay. But yeah, I was able to get it really cheap. We were watching it. So yeah, that is The Mentalist. If you haven't seen The Mentalist and you want to know what it's like, and you've seen Psych, it's sort of like the yin-yang episodes of Psych, but as a whole TV show. So yeah, really good. Next up we have another show that's similar and kind of goes along with these, especially Psych. Monk, the complete series. Now, I bought this a long time ago, you can tell. Before I was a very good collector. Although we've gotten a lot of use out of this. This is an old classic for me. It's not as good as I remembered it being, but it is hilarious. Some of the comedy in it is a little repetitive and predictable, but a lot of it is very clever, very good. Tony Shalhoub's performance in this is amazing. I simply would have passed away if, in the end of Psych, Mr. Monk showed up. I would have simply passed away. They hinted at it, and he didn't. But they're making a Monk movie now called Mr. Monk's Last Case. And if Sean Spencer isn't in it, they missed their chance. That's all I got to say. They missed their chance. But yeah, Monk is very good. I think my two favorites is Mr. Monk on the Run, part 1 and 2. That episode I think is really awesome. And then Mr. Monk Goes Blind is another really good one. And then the one where Mr. Monk helps Dr. Bell's son. That one is really funny. Or I think it's Dr. Bell. It might be his other doctor. Dr. Kruger. I don't know. I don't remember. One of them. But where he helps his psychiatrist's son. That one's really hilarious too. But yeah. Monk. Good show. Most of you have probably seen it. This edition is pretty good. Now it's like OCD friendly. But yeah. Monk. Classic. Alright. Now for the last TV show. Unfortunately, I don't have that many TV shows. This is all I have. Is, drumroll please, SpongeBob. Now, you can. It's just a lot more expensive. But buy each season individually. It's a lot more expensive than just buying these two, which is pretty much the entire show. Eventually they'll probably do a next 100 episodes, and that'll be the newer seasons. But this is good enough for me. These are peak SpongeBob, I think. Although season 12, I think it was either season 11 or 12, had some really hilarious episodes on it. This show has run so long, and I can't believe that's still good. I know people who think it's not as good, but I think it's pretty consistent. As somebody who didn't watch it growing up and watched it, if you're homeschooled, you probably know that SpongeBob, that's a no-no. So when I got older, a lot of my friends were like, oh, you haven't seen SpongeBob? And I was like, okay. And me, Max, and Carson watched it, and we loved it. Like, it was a blast. I'm disappointed that I didn't get to watch it as a kid, but yeah, I love SpongeBob. Yeah, family fun, really great. I've made some great memories watching SpongeBob since being older. But yeah, highly recommend. Really happy that I was able to get these. My eBay got hacked where they did this really weird thing. They hacked my eBay and then changed my shipping address, and so when I just hit buy now, it just automatically shipped it to some random shipping address. It was like a building that didn't even have, that was like a building that was being built, so I don't know how that hacking part works, if they just swing by the building and pick it up or what. But yeah, I ordered these from eBay, and my account had been hacked, and so yeah, I don't know how they hacked my account or anything, but it's a really weird hack. I don't know. But yeah, then I fixed my account and got these, and so yeah, my SpongeBob is here and I have them. So yeah. Yeah, I think that's all I have. I want to get some more TV shows. I have a list that I want to eventually buy. The bad thing about TV shows is they tend to be really expensive. Over Black Friday, I was watching like a hawk for certain shows, like Better Call Saul. But it was like the standard edition was 50% off, and it was still like $109. And I was like, so I'm just gonna wait. Probably find something on eBay, because that's where I eventually got Breaking Bad for like $40 on the good edition. So that was crazy, and I'm really happy that I got that. But yeah, that's all my TV shows. Hello. I bet you weren't expecting to see me in this video. My name is Max, for those of you who don't know, and I am the second sheep, and I'm here because sheep number 3's collection isn't good enough, so, not actually, but, I have some pretty cool, this one, which sheep number 3 actually got this for me. This is Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is the Steelbooks, and it is really awesome. Here, let me show you. Gotta get him out of here. Okay. That's pretty cool. And it actually opens up inside, so you can see here. It goes in like that. But on the back, it's got these cool things that all connect when you put all the other ones together. So let me show you the other ones. They have it set up for each book. This one is Earth. It's pretty cool. If I can get it back in. And then this one is water. I did it in reverse of what you're supposed to, but that's pretty cool. I don't know if you can see them, but it looks pretty good. And the case actually makes pretty good noise. I was so excited when I unwrapped this, because I had wanted it for a long time, because I love this show. You'll have to let me know what your favorite season of this is. My favorite season is probably the second one, but I really like the last one too. It's really hard to decide. Now, we have this, which is just a pretty regular set of it, but it's a really good show. I love it. There's not really anything too special about it, but the back of it is pretty cool. It's not super in focus. There we go. And then this one's on the back of the other one. That one's pretty cool. But yeah, this show's really good. One of my favorite episodes of this one, if you guys know, is Joker's Millions. I love that one. All the ones with Joker are obviously my favorite. But I also really like the one with Two-Face for the first time. I like that one a lot. And the one where Batman is in like the dream the whole time. That one's pretty cool. You guys should let us know which one is your favorite episode of this show. This one is a classic one for most people growing up. Most people I've met love this and loved it when they were growing up. Yeah, I love this show. And then we have this, which is House of the Dragon. It is a steelbook also. It's a really cool set. Well, not set, but edition of it. I'm trying to open it quietly. Okay. That's what it looks like inside. It's pretty cool. It actually came with like a little disc of like lore from the world. I gotta close it. I'm trying to close it quietly. Okay. But it doesn't sound the greatest to tap on, but that sounds pretty good. But yeah. Pretty good first season overall. I think it's pretty good. It'll depend on how it plays out. But I thought the first season was really good. season is really good. Has one of the most shocking episodes in TV history. And then we have the 4th season, which is probably my favorite season. It's really close with the 6th season. This one's really cool. The end of the season is epic. It's totally cool. And the side has the picture. And the back it has the wall. I love all the stuff with the wall, so this season is really cool. That season is really good. Has a lot of my favorite episodes. I love the battle at the wall. And there's something else that I really love about that one. And I can't remember what it is right now. But this is the 5th season. This is probably my second least favorite season. I am not a big fan of this season. Other than there's cool parts at the end. There's some cool stuff. But yeah. It's not that I don't like this season. It's just not as good as the other ones, I feel like. And then we have the 6th season, which I think is most people's favorite season. Just because it has one of the greatest episodes. That's the back of it. Looks really cool. I love Ramsay Bolton. He's such a good bad guy. And this season brings his story to an end perfectly. And Jon Snow is so cool in this season. But yeah, that season's awesome. It has the best episode in it, I think. Then we have the 7th season. Now, I like this season, but it does kind of connect really well with the 8th season, and I do not like the 8th season, as I'm sure most of you don't, but that was loud. Okay, that's the back of it. Looks pretty cool. The front of this one is really cool too. I think it just looks really cool. I don't know how well you can see all these, but it has an indent as well. This season is good. I feel like Arya doesn't do a lot in this season. Same with the last season a little bit, except for the thing with the bad guy. I forget his name for some reason, but she doesn't do much in the last 2 seasons. I felt like she doesn't act like herself. I felt she was kind of more boring in these last 2 seasons, and Arya was one of my favorite characters. She was really cool. This is the 8th season. And it is the reason, one of the reasons, why this is probably, that makes this show not as good, I feel like, because of the ending, but I need to look into the Criterion Collection. And I know I've known about the Criterion Collection for a long time. They only had DVDs even after Blu-rays came out, but their Blu-rays are really expensive. But over Black Friday, I got a Criterion Collection, my first one ever, and so I wanted to share that with you guys. It's Fantastic Mr. Fox. If you watched my movie Blu-ray collection, you know that this is one of my favorite movies of all time. If not, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it's incredible. If you haven't seen it, go watch it, but this Criterion Collection is really good. I imagine all of them are very similar to this. But yeah, it's a slip out book style, and then it has some stuff in it. It has like an art book that shows behind the scenes and art from the movie, and even how they made the puppets. There's some pretty cool stuff in there. I went through it. It was a blast watching it. But yeah, I got this for a great deal. And I was really happy, and now I'm going to be probably losing money on some Criterion Collection stuff, but yeah, this is the inside. I don't know how well you can see it, but yeah, really happy with this. I was always sort of disappointed with my Fantastic Mr. Fox version that I have, because it's just the standard Blu-ray, no slipcase or nothing special. So yeah, thanks for the comment. It made me look it up and see the deal, and yeah, thank you. I'll probably be getting more Criterion stuff soon, and I'm also going to buy some slips to put some of my important Blu-rays in so they don't get damaged. But yeah, I think that's it for this video. Sorry we haven't been posting very much. Yeah, we were gone all last week and didn't have a chance to make videos, and then more recently we had some personal stuff come up that made it so we weren't able to make videos, but sorry about that. We will hopefully be posting more closer to Christmas. We might not post because we'll be gone the week before Christmas, and then Christmas week we'll probably make some videos in advance to post during that time, but we might not be making music. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for being patient with us, and we're glad you're here, and yeah, we're still reading all your comments, even though we're not posting videos. When we get chances, we're reading all your comments and responding to the ones that we can respond to. We're almost at 100,000. We did a poll, and we're still looking at what we're going to do for 100,000. We have a couple ideas. But yeah, thanks for the responses to that. We're really excited. And we're thankful we get to share it with you guys, and have you guys be a part of our lives and us be a part of yours. And we're really thankful for you guys. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. My name is Parker. I'm the third sheep, and you've been watching 1, 2, 3 Sheep ASMR. I'll see you in the next video.